On your screen right now is a live view of our Falcon 9 rocket on Space Launch Complex 4 East at California's Vandenberg Space Force Base, awaiting liftoff at 12:19 a.m. Pacific Time. And for today's Starlink launch, we're testing out a new feature that provides additional views of the mission. So if you're interested, head over to SpaceX's Twitter to check it out. June has been a great month so far, and this past Monday, on June 19th, the United States and SpaceX observed Juneteenth. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, Juneteenth is short for and references June 19th, 1865, which is a significant day in American history that marks the emancipation of slavery in this country. Juneteenth is commonly celebrated with social gatherings influenced by African American history, food, and culture. SpaceX was lucky enough to be able to host several celebrations at our various sites, and we hope you all got to do the same. At SpaceX, we continue to strive to create a diverse and inclusive workplace where different viewpoints and ideas are encouraged and the best ideas win, no matter the source. At T-minus 3 minutes and 37 seconds, the weather is green and the range is ready to support. The clamp arms around the Falcon 9 rocket have completely opened, and the strong back should be retracting away from our Falcon 9 vehicle. The teams are currently tracking no issues with the vehicle or spacecraft. Coming up in just a few moments from now, we should hear that the Falcon 9 first stage has completed liquid oxygen loading.
Stage 1 LOX load complete.
And there's that call out that Stage 1 LOX loading is complete. The Falcon 9 first stage is now fully loaded with RP-1 and LOX, and we're awaiting completion of LOX load on the second stage in about 50 seconds from now. Now, while it's a bit dark at Vandenberg Space Force Base right now, you should be able to see those white clouds around the Falcon 9 rocket. Those white clouds are the chilled gas above the LOX tank liquid surface that we vent overboard to maintain pressure in the tank as needed. And when that gas comes out into the California air, the humid, moist air condenses into clouds and water. And coming up in about 15 seconds, we should hear that LOX loading is complete on the Falcon 9's second stage. The booster, or first stage of the rocket that you see on screen, is flying for its fourth time tonight, having previously supported the Space Development Agency's Tranche 0 mission and 2 Starlink launches. After liftoff and stage separation, this booster is scheduled to land on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, which is currently stationed in the Pacific Ocean. As many of you may already know, successful...
LOX load complete.
And there's that call out that Stage 2 LOX loading is complete. And with that call out, Falcon 9 is now fully loaded with 1 million pounds of fuel and liquid oxygen. Now, in about 10 seconds from now, we should hear that call out that Falcon 9 is in startup. And this is when the Falcon 9's flight computer takes over the launch countdown.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
And there's that call out that Falcon 9 is now in startup. And in a few moments, we should hear our launch director, or LD, give the final go for launch.
LD is go for launch.
And there you heard that the launch director has given the final go to proceed for launch. So let's sit back and watch as Falcon 9 takes our 47 Starlink satellites into space.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 15. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engines full power, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Slick 4E from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California at 12:19 a.m. Pacific Time. Now, the next major milestone coming up is Max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere. We should hear that call out for Max Q in about 10 seconds from now.
Acquisition signal, Hawthorne.
Vehicle is supersonic. Max Q.
And there's that call out for Max Q, which again is when the rocket experiences the largest amount of external stresses. Now, we are about 1 minute away from a series of events, starting with MECO, or main engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, then SES-1, or second engine start 1, and lastly, fairing separation. MECO, or main engine cutoff, is where all 9 of the Merlin 1D engines on the first stage shut down, and that's followed by stage separation when the first and second stages separate. This is then followed by SES-1, or second engine start 1, which is where we light the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage. And lastly, we'll have fairing separation, which is when the 2 fairing halves separate and fall away from the second stage. So keep an eye out for these events happening in quick succession. And we should see that call out for main engine cutoff in about 10 seconds from now.
MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC ignition.
And as you just saw and heard over the nets, we had successful MECO, stage separation,
Fairing separation confirmed.
second engine start 1, and fairing separation from the second stage. Now, we'll be attempting to recover both fairing halves using our recovery vessel Go Beyond, which is also currently stationed in the Pacific Ocean. Both of the fairing halves that are supporting today's mission are flight proven and are flying for their 3rd time on tonight's mission.
Nominal trajectory.
And there you heard that Stage 1 and Stage 2 are both following nominal trajectories. Currently, the first stage, which is not on your screen right now, is on its way back to Earth towards our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, in the Pacific Ocean. And what you do have on your screen right there is the MVAC engine attached to the second stage, which is continuing its burn that will last another couple of minutes. As a reminder, Starlink is a satellite internet constellation designed and manufactured by SpaceX to provide high-speed, low-latency internet to people living in remote and rural locations around the globe. As I mentioned earlier, today's Starlink mission marks SpaceX's 241st mission overall and the 42nd mission just this year. Now, coming up next will be the entry burn on the Falcon 9 first stage, which is the first of 2 burns it will go through in preparation for landing. And we should see that entry burn. We should hear call-outs for that entry burn and maybe see it in about 45 seconds from now. On your screen right now is a live view of our MVAC engine on the Falcon 9 second stage, which is currently taking our Starlink satellites to orbit.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And there's that call out for the Stage 1 entry burn. Stage 1, which we also call the booster, has ignited 3 engines to slow it down for atmospheric re-entry.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And there was that call out that the entry burn on the first stage has completed. Coming up next will be the landing burn on the first stage. And that'll be the second and final burn.
Stage 1 FTS has safed.
And that'll be the second and final burn in preparation for landing. As a reminder, on the left side of your screen right now is a live view of the MVAC engine on our second stage.
Stage 1 transonic.
And there's that call out that the first stage is transonic, which means it is traveling near the speed of sound.
Expected loss of signal, Hawthorne.
Terminal guidance.
Stage 1 landing burn.
And there's confirmation that the Stage 1 landing burn has started in preparation for touchdown on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, which is currently stationed...
Stage 2 FTS has safed.
Currently stationed in the Pacific Ocean.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
And there's confirmation that our Falcon 9 first stage has successfully launched and landed for the 4th time. Today's landing marks our 202nd overall landing of an orbital class rocket, including Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy missions.
Nominal orbit insertion.
And there's that call out for nominal orbit insertion. With confirmation of both of these events, that'll wrap up our coverage for now, so be sure to check our social media for confirmation of Starlink deployment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.